Prepare yourself for 3 jaw-dropping cases where arrogance, defiance, and bad decisions lead to shocking outcomes. A heated domestic dispute spirals into violence with shocking results. An entitled mother defies custody orders, creating chaos for everyone involved. A Supreme Court judge turns a neighborhood feud into a public fiasco. Each story reveals how ego and bad decisions can lead to unforgettable consequences. In the early hours of January 28, 2023, officers were dispatched to a home after a tense domestic disturbance was reported. The call hinted at a volatile situation, requiring officers to act swiftly to ensure everyone's safety.
What happened was I actually got it from her and tossed it basically right behind me out the door. The door was open, I was trying to leave.
Right. Okay. So, all right. I have a supervisor en route. He's probably going to want to speak with you. The reason you're detained is because, like you said,
I will comply if you don't violate my rights.
Right, we're not violating your rights. But
you are, by detaining me, you're violating my rights.
Hold on, let me finish.
Upon arriving, officers encountered a distressed man outside the residence. He claimed his wife had attacked him with a frying pan, leaving a visible welt on his forehead.
The mother of his children with a frying pan. Let me, this is for evidence.
I know, dude.
Here, let me get your forehead. Look forward at me. You got that welt on your forehead.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Anywhere else?
I mean, she was...
The man explained the escalating conflict, pointing to substance abuse as a possible factor. He stated that she was on meth, adding that he suspected she was still under the influence.
The broomstick, and then when she I fell into the wall.
I know that she does meth.
Yeah.
Is she high right now?
Probably.
The victim also mentioned other weapons that might be in the apartment, and that raises concerns for officer safety.
Alright, I'm gonna go up there. She got any weapons?
She might have a knife in her bag if she has her bag on her. I'm not sure. I think her bag might be in my truck this time, so I don't know.
Alright, you hang out with Officer Wynn right here. We're gonna go talk to her.
With that information, officers approached the residence cautiously. They called for anyone inside to make themselves known.
Savannah Police! Anybody inside, you gotta make yourself known. Savannah Police Department. Contact. Come here, come talk to me real quick.
Inside, officers found 2 women, one identified as the suspect and the other possibly a witness or additional participant. The suspect, defensive from the start, claimed she was simply in her son's room and denied any wrongdoing.
Where you at?
In my son's room.
Where's your son's room?
Straight, no, sir, I'm not. I have no weapons. I have no weapons here.
Well, let me see your hands.
Hands are right here.
I don't know, come
So
out.
we'll affirm that I have no weapons.
Okay.
Like,
Son, come out.
I have sole custody of my son. He's my son.
Okay, hop out real quick.
No, he's my witness.
The woman's version of events. She accused her husband of being the aggressor, alleging that he threw her into a wall and threatened her with a frying pan.
That his father abused me.
Okay.
Threw me in that wall over there. So yeah, I locked myself in here with my son.
What do you got going on today?
You have a who's abusive, and so I told him I'm taking my son and I'm going home.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Her son was visibly nervous. He corroborated hearing a loud argument but admitted he hadn't seen anything firsthand.
I've usually been in my room since they do this whole kind of argument thing, so I don't actually really know what's going on. But what I hear is, so basically I heard, so basically my,
Here, why don't you come out here with me?
what I hear is,
Come here, puppy.
my dad threw my mom into that wall.
That's what you heard?
Yes.
As officers worked to piece together the events, the husband provided more details. He described how the argument started earlier that morning when he asked her to find a job.
Yeah, we calmed down a couple times and just like settled down. And then this morning, woke up, we had an argument started after that about her going to work, like going to go find a job, either like Uber Eats, Lyft, or whatever.
Okay.
The confrontation escalated when she allegedly began throwing objects. Also, she poured whiskey on his belongings and finally attacked him with the frying pan.
Starts picking it up and spilling it everywhere. She grabbed a bottle of whiskey, starts pouring that on stuff. I have a couple videos on my phone of her doing this. So,
Today?
yes.
Okay, yeah. I like this.
Video evidence provided by the husband supported his claims. Clips showed her acting erratically, yelling, and causing destruction in the home. A frying pan, matching the description of the weapon, was found discarded in the yard.
Why are you beating down my door?
All the belongings are in there.
Okay, well you can stop beating on the door.
Unlock it.
Stop beating on the door. This is before. Jesus Christ. Yeah, video of it? Yeah, some of it, not the actual part. I wasn't recording that happen.
The suspect, unwilling to cooperate, insisted she was being wrongfully accused. She refused to step outside, questioning the officers' motives and accusing them of siding with her husband. Her hostility escalated as she argued about her rights and claimed she was being detained unfairly.
It is what it is. Y'all are gonna side with him. Y'all crowbarred me and didn't do about it, so I don't trust y'all.
That's not the case, but I need you to come speak with me right here.
I didn't commit any crimes. I didn't abuse him, and he abused me, and y'all never do anything about it. And I have nowhere else to go, so I have no choice but here. So, you know what? I'd rather be homeless than deal with this ever again.
We're gonna talk out front.
No, we're not.
Despite multiple warnings, she resisted leaving the apartment. Officers eventually placed her in handcuffs, leading to a heated exchange where she continued to deny any involvement.
Alright, so the reason I brought you down here is because I don't want you to. You are gonna speak with us. And you're not free to go.
Sarah, why so?
Because we're investigating a crime.
There was no crime.
Okay, go ahead and put your hands behind your back for now.
For what?
Do it.
For what?
Go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
Am I under arrest?
Yes, you're being detained.
No. Am I under arrest?
Hold on.
You cannot detain me. I'm not under arrest.
Through interviews, video evidence, and physical injuries observed on the husband, officers concluded that the wife was the primary aggressor. Her attempts to deflect responsibility didn't align with the evidence, including the frying pan and visible marks on the victim.
It's a blunt cast iron
That's
pan.
what I knew. I was like, this time.
Yeah, so I have my supervisor on the way, and we may call a DVA detective. But, there's evidence of that clearly by your forehead. And then, obviously, the paneling on the yard is also indicative. We'll show her as well.
The woman was charged with domestic battery, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. Even as she was transported to the station, she continued to argue, making bold claims about her rights and accusing her husband of framing her.
The female suspect was presented in court to face charges of disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and domestic battery.
This tense domestic case underscores the challenges officers face when unraveling emotionally charged disputes. While the suspect maintained her innocence, the weight of evidence proved otherwise, leading to a night, and likely many days, of reckoning for her.
Miss Munson, come on.
Ow!
Come
What?
on. Let's go. No falling asleep in the back. I gotta get you to the hospital. Come on.
26,001.
On a crisp Wisconsin morning, emotions boiled over into chaos at Lake Chautauqua. A mother's fiery temper and refusal to cooperate turned what could have been a straightforward welfare check into an unforgettable confrontation with the law.
Anything on you that's gonna stick me, poke me, hurt me?
Maybe. I don't know.
Officers responded to a call regarding custody concerns. The children's fathers, concerned for their safety, requested police intervention. When they arrived, they were met with 34-year-old Alicia Orrell, who was on a boat in the middle of the lake with her children.
Listen, sit down and talk, okay? I'm telling you to sit down and talk right now.
Dude, and you're telling me you're taking my kids, but you don't even know their dad's name.
From the outset, Alicia wasn't going down without a fight, metaphorically or literally. She accused the officers of not knowing the fathers' names and insisted that her lawyer had told her she was entitled to keep her children. But the officers explained that the fathers had requested the children's return, and they were there to ensure compliance.
Maybe I misspoke on the father's name of the caller, but both fathers, I spoke to both of them.
Why would you call the dads of my children?
They called us. That's why we're here. They called us.
I have, and my lawyer said that I get them until the date that is on my phone. Okay. My lawyer said I get them until the date that's on my phone.
Alicia, clutching her phone, called her lawyer mid-lake, pouring her frustration into the receiver as she protested the officer's presence. She reassured her visibly nervous children that everything would be fine but refused to cooperate.
Telling me they're taking the kids, and at first they didn't even know the names of their dad, who the dad was.
I misspoke. I apologize for that.
I know that, but you're in charge of Dominic too. So I have it in writing on how long I'm supposed to get him.
As tensions escalated, police made it clear that resistance could result in handcuffs, something they were eager to avoid, especially in front of the kids.
Okay, well, they're going to come with us now, and then
No,
you can...
they're not
yes.
going with you now. No,
Okay,
they're not.
Alicia, if you obstruct and resist us, we're going to place you in handcuffs in front of your children. You don't want that, okay? You don't want that.
Eventually, Alicia reluctantly allowed officers to board the pontoon. Her children were escorted off the boat to safety, but the situation was far from resolved.
Alicia, you're going to go in handcuffs.
Please, I don't want to.
No, Mommy, I don't want to do that, Mommy.
It's okay. You guys can come across. Come on, guys. We're not going to do that, okay?
Hang on one
We're not going to do that. You got shoes and stuff, bud?
What you do is go ahead and step right down here. I can hold your hand here, and I'll step right down towards me. There you go. All right.
At the home where Alicia and her children were staying, officers began gathering the kids' belongings. Alicia, now on the defensive, argued that she wasn't being given the chance to say goodbye. The officers reminded her that her behavior on the boat had left them with no other option.
I thought Greg was coming up here and I would get to say goodbye to my kids.
Here's the deal, ma'am. If you wouldn't have acted the way you did on the boat, we would have put in that
Obviously
position.
not if you're not letting me say goodbye.
Ma'am, if you wouldn't have acted that way on the boat, we would have let you, we would have brought him here, we would have done whatever we needed to.
While collecting items like booster seats and clothes, Alicia's combative attitude flared again. She accused the officers of siding against her, all while arguing loudly with the children's father.
Can we get the booster seat out of the truck?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, is there anything else left in there? I'm not coming in, if there's anything else that she wants to bring out, or otherwise we'll get out of here.
There's no way you can say goodbye to them.
They're not coming here.
Inside the house, tensions reached a breaking point. Alicia began yelling at the officers, insisting she wants Ted to help her with belongings while the cops wait outside.
Dad, I'm here. I can hear you.
Do not keep
I am talking to my dad for a second.
Then talk. I'm gonna stand right here while you do it.
Dad, what were my options?
I said you can gather up the stuff you need for tonight, and you can go, and Ted will make arrangements to get the rest of your stuff
Why
to you.
can't Ted and I go through everything together and you guys just stand there?
Because we don't have all night to do that.
When officers urged her to take only what she needed for the night and leave the rest for later retrieval, she refused. She became more belligerent.
You're gonna have to make other arrangements if you have that much stuff. So your options are, you get what you need and go, or we're going to take you. And I don't want to take you. Okay? I would rather just do this peacefully.
Just do what they want. Get your stuff.
Her search for marijuana, something she openly admitted to wanting in front of officers, highlighted her defiance. She rummaged through the basement, claiming ownership of various items, while ignoring officers' attempts to move things along.
We're not worried about that today. You need the Ma'am, I just gave you your options. You get your necessities and leave on your own.
I'm trying to find my... I lived here for over a year. I'm looking for my stuff.
None of your necessities are down here. It's under construction.
As the argument dragged on, Alicia lashed out physically, striking one of the officers. This was the final straw. Officers deployed a taser to subdue her, ordering her to put her hands behind her back as she protested loudly.
Do you not see me getting my stuff?
I told you to get your necessities.
And I'm getting my... You see my necessities?
That's not necessary.
My medicine, my stuff from the military?
That's enough. Back up.
She screamed aloud as one of the officers used a taser on her. That was to remind her that assaulting law enforcement had consequences.
You guys almost broke my wrist the other day, so how about you guys lock them this time?
Hang on, we'll get them done. All right.
You're not supposed to take somebody when you have other medical conditions!
You're not supposed to punch a law enforcement officer either.
I was getting my stuff!
As they secured her, Alicia continued to rail against what she saw as an injustice. She even claimed prior bruises were also caused by officers.
We gotta get them probes out too, so.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah, you see all these bruises on me? That's what you guys did to me the other day, too. That's what you guys did to me the other day,
I wasn't here the other day.
Yeah, well, all these bruises on me is what you guys did to me the other day.
With Alicia in custody, officers transported her to jail on charges of battery on a law enforcement officer and disorderly conduct. Despite her protests, the evidence of her behavior and her resistance was overwhelming.
Go ahead and take a seat in there.
The children, meanwhile, were taken to a safe location. Here, they enjoyed ice cream with a kind officer while awaiting their guardian.
Oh, yum. All right.
This chaotic encounter serves as a stark reminder that cooperation goes a long way, and that poor decisions, fueled by entitlement and defiance, can lead to consequences far more serious than initially anticipated.
Hands behind your back!
In Buffalo, New York, a quiet neighborhood became the unlikely stage for a chaotic showdown involving State Supreme Court Judge Mark Grisanti. What began as a simmering feud over driveway access erupted into a full-blown brawl, complete with police intervention, accusations of misconduct, and a dramatic struggle with law enforcement.
Then get over here.
You're not going to arrest me.
I sure am.
My son, no.
We're not doing this.
Judge Mark Grisanti and his wife had long accused their neighbors of parking strategically to block driveways. This had been a recurring irritation in their residential cul-de-sac. On June 23, 2020, tensions came to a head.
Well, it's not an emergency, but I called D District, and they said they have to call 911 for an idiot neighbor across the street where they have 4 cars on my side parking, and 2 of them are blocking my driveway.
Okay, what's the address?
21 Duluth Avenue.
The situation escalated when Grisanti called 911, frustrated by cars allegedly blocking his driveway. "I have daughters and sons in law enforcement," he told the dispatcher, adding that if the cars weren't moved, he wanted them ticketed or towed.
I have daughters and sons and son-in-law that are police, that are the fire department, and listen, whatever it's worth, the mayor's not doing things right with you guys, but I don't care if you guys come now or 12 o'clock, but if the car's still there, I want a ticket on it or I want it towed because it's blocking part of the driveway.
Okay.
While Grisanti's call may have sounded routine, what unfolded afterward was anything but. Surveillance footage captured the judge and his wife crossing the street to confront their neighbors. Words turned to fists as a brawl broke out, spilling into the street and then back to Grisanti's driveway.
About a minute later, they begin walking across the street toward their neighbors. They get in an altercation in the driveway where you see the neighbor take a swing at Grisanti.
The footage, though without audio, revealed the physicality of the altercation. Punches were exchanged, shirts were ripped, and tempers flared. Grisanti later claimed his necklace was ripped off and that he was struck first, prompting him to push his neighbor in self-defense.
Soon, the brawl spills over into the street and continues on with Grisanti and his neighbor eye to eye. Eventually, the fight moves into Grisanti's driveway, showing no sign of slowing. Here's some audio of the argument.
Buffalo police arrived at the scene to find a chaotic mess of accusations, yelling, and physical tension. Grisanti and his wife quickly approached the officers, each shouting their side of the story.
Okay. Okay? Tag me. Rip my friggin' chain off. Okay.
Things escalated further when Grisanti's wife began screaming uncontrollably even after the cops' warnings. This prompted an officer to cuff her to de-escalate the situation. That's when Judge Grisanti made his fateful move.
Rip my shirt off, rip my friggin'.
She's good. She's good. She's good. Ma'am.
You're not doing nothing.
Hey!
Arrest me.
You're not doing this.
No.
No, it's okay.
Dude,
keep your hands off.
You better get off my wife.
Arrest me. I don't care.
Dude!
She's going to cuffs. She's going to cuffs.
As officers tried to detain his wife, Grisanti intervened, placing his hands on an officer's shoulder in an attempt to stop the arrest. He yelled at the officer, asking him to get his hands off his wife and pushing him.
We are not doing this.
No, it's okay.
You better get off my wife.
Let him arrest me. I don't care.
Dude!
Come on, take
You're
me.
going in the back of the car
I will.
and we can deal with this.
No, you have no idea the we
Okay.
can't put up with.
Okay.
The officers, maintaining professionalism, restrained Grisanti while explaining the gravity of his actions, despite his repeated references to his family ties to law enforcement. Although he wasn't cuffed and placed in a squad car alongside his wife, he stood a few feet away from her.
We're going to do for right now.
He needs to get the cuffs off her.
We're not going to do that by your demand. She's going to sit in the back of the car. She's going to be in cuffs, and that's what's going to happen for right now. Let us work. Let us just work this through.
No, watch.
Genuinely.
I'm going to be calling my son and daughter. They're lieutenants right now.
Genuinely, yeah. Call who you need to call.
I'm going to be calling right now.
While she was in custody, Grisanti called his daughter, a police officer, seeking advice. On camera, he didn't admit to pushing the officer to her, but made it clear that the cops attacked his wife. Perhaps he's thinking telling all that to his daughter will make her appear on the scene.
Hi, Luciano. I don't know. You got officers Molahan. I don't know who these guys are, but Maria's in the back of the car.
Where does your daughter work for?
She's in B district.
Bravo?
My son's in C district.
Okay.
Girl Malia's my cousin.
Okay.
So I mean, it's just.
Grisanti's defiance and arguments with the cops wasn't swept under the rug. The officers shunned and cuffed him like they did his wife.
You want to drop another copper's name? You want to scream about Gamali or the mayor? Why don't you shut the up? And you listen, quiet. Shut. Listen. Put your hands right back. Listen. Put your hands right back. You want to be difficult? You want to say I know all these coppers? I know all these things. No, you want to make us look dirty? Is that what you want to do? So how am I helping you now?
Later, in an interview with law enforcement, Grisanti expressed regret for touching the officer, but he maintained his frustration with how his wife was handled. He argued that she's 4'0", criticizing what he saw as excessive force.
I respect police. I should put my hands on you. I said, but it wasn't proper, like how you were trying to take her down. She's like 4'0". I said, so they made me put my hands on it. He was fine with it. Another officer came over, heard what I did. He said, you touched a police officer, and then put the cuffs on me.
The incident didn't end with criminal charges. A month later, the Erie County District Attorney's Office announced that neither Grisanti nor his wife would face legal consequences. However, the New York State Commission on Judicial Conduct formally censured Grisanti, issuing a public reprimand for his actions.
The New York State Commission on Judicial Conduct censured Judge Grisanti, meaning he won't be removed as a state Supreme Court judge, but he did receive a formal statement of disapproval for his action.
Grisanti retained his position as a Supreme Court judge. However, the incident raised serious questions about his behavior and judgment.
No, what I apologize to is the, kind of stopping the officer from doing what he had to do, but...
This wild saga serves as a stark reminder that no one is above the law, not even those tasked with upholding it. For Judge Grisanti, what began as a petty driveway dispute escalated into a public debacle that will not soon be forgotten.
So I'm trying to sweep the legs of her, and she's had problems with her neck and back, or her neck and back. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I got her. I'll take her in the house. By that time, we had the cuffs on. But we were cool. Everyone was cool.